Maybe we can find a new family.
Yeah, first you tried with me, and you never tried with Libby, now you're trying with Jen.
Oh boy.
You know, it's interesting because we knew that before Josh and Jen were revealed at the last season of the Last Resort Tell All, when he finally cut ties with Natalie for good, obviously Jen did appear. And that's when we first found out that these two were in some sort of a relationship where they were just at the very early stages of dating. And it's quite fascinating because a lot of people speculate that these two only got together just so they could both stay on the show. Why? Well, because everybody knew that Josh had a history with Elizabeth. Not necessarily Elizabeth in terms of actually being with her, but in terms of the fact that he was somebody that worked with her in the past, as well as also knowing the family. But now we're here on 90 Day Diaries, where everything is supposed to be real, raw, and unfiltered. We're now finding out that originally he actually had a fling, or shall I say a situation with Becky, the sister. Wow, this man knows how to move around the family. Again, he didn't do nothing, or he's never been in anything romantic in any shape or form with Elizabeth, but the fact that he was with Becky in the past, and now he's moving on to Jen, this guy, cheeky guy. Men like him cannot be trusted.
I mean, does anybody know?
Well, you do now. Becky and today, way back, and it was more of a fun, physical, intimate relationship. It never really got to Jen today.
That's just nasty work, man. Nasty work. And the killer part of it is that Jen doesn't even know that Becky and Josh had a history. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, of course, just because your sibling has a past with somebody that is now your lover or somebody you're now dating, does it mean that you should now not date that person? Does it mean that person's a no-go zone? I guess it depends on your morals. I guess it depends on, of course, the conversation that you have obviously with your siblings or even your friends for that matter. You know what I mean? I mean, listen. Really and truly, should someone else's past stop them from getting with somebody? Not necessarily. Should somebody being with somebody that you knew or somebody you relate to be an issue with you being with that person? Not necessarily, because if you do feel like you do match better with that said person, no one should really be allowed to get in your way. But again, like I said before, despite all of that, it still comes down to what morals you have, you know, and what loyalties you have, and just how you see things as a person. For me, Could I be with my ex's sister? Yeah, that's just crazy business. Yeah, I'm not about that life. That just seems so messy to me. Could I be with a friend's sister? Nah, I couldn't do that. Me looking at my friend every single day thinking, yeah, I'm sleeping with yours. Nah, that's nasty work. But anyway, we continue. Like I said, people like that, in my opinion, I don't think they can be trusted, but let's get into it.
Maybe that's another conversation later on, maybe on our honeymoon, who knows? We'll see what happens. I'm a little nervous to see Jen today, but I have to bite the bullet and really tell Jen how I feel. I just hope that she feels the same way. I want to get with her, right?
Yeah, what are you looking for? Is that like you want something serious?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, let's just get married.
This guy is so unserious, so unserious. Of course, he's not actually proposing to her. He just wants to make their relationship now exclusive. He wants to make it official. He wants to do exactly what Natalie was begging him to do all these years. And he never wanted to do it purely because he just wasn't into Natalie. It is interesting though, isn't it, how somebody behaves when they're interested in someone compared to how they behave when they're not really interested in someone. Do you see what I'm saying? So really and truly, we all saw it at the time when he was with Natalie, and we was frustrated with the fact that Natalie was refusing to see the truth, that this man simply was not into her. And now we are seeing him being into someone. And this has nothing to do with growth. This has nothing to do with the fact that he's a different person. Now, no, it's to do with the fact that he's with somebody that he actually generally has feelings for. Someone he generally actually does care for. Somebody who he sees beyond the bedroom. Natalie's somebody who he saw as just the bedroom. But hey, the girl's hunger for fame, hunger for attention, hunger for clout, hunger to stay on the network, and hunger for just for somebody to just love her, blinded her. Meanwhile, the funny part about it is the energy that Josh gave Natalie was similar energy to what Natalie gave Mike. She should have recognized that this guy is treating me the same way I treat Mike. Why did I treat Mike that way? Because I just wasn't that into him. I was only into him enough to get me to America. I was only into him enough to get my mom to America.
Just want to take things slow. Honestly. I'm trying to feel it out and kind of see where my head's at and also what I want. I'm not.
You know what though? I like the fact that she was like, "Nah, I'm good. You know, I want to take things slowly. There's no need for labels right. There's no need for rushing right now. Okay." And it's crazy because remember, she's also a parent as well. Josh is also a parent at the same time. And I bring this up because you see, one of the things that Josh used when he was obviously with Natalie was that obviously, you know, I got to make sure I put my family first, my kid, da 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 da. That's why I got to take things very very slowly. You know what I mean? Jenny's using the same kind of tactic right here. I want to take it slowly, but she doesn't mention her kids. I'm just saying that because she has some, I can expect to want to take things slowly and not want to rush. But of course, that doesn't stand for every single parent that's a single parent in this world. Some single parents out here be looking to rush the relationship real quick and then continue to be single or enter a toxic relationship. But hey, that's another conversation.
I'm still interested to see where this goes, but it's more just like, yeah.
Want that. Like they want more of my time, more of my attention. And one time that I'm ready to actually do that with the person that I want to do it with, it's a little humbling because that normally does not happen. I mean,
the arrogance of this guy is humbling because it normally doesn't happen. When I want a woman, they want me. And look, now I finally want somebody. That person doesn't want me. Or that person isn't ready the same way I am ready. I mean, it definitely is humbling. It definitely is humbling. But to be honest with you, he needs to get off the pedestal. Bro's really putting himself out there. Like, my record says that all the women I've been with always wanted me. It's always been me that's rejected them or slow down the process. Oh man, yeah. Anyway. Either way, it's good to see how obviously Jen decided to handle the situation and not want to rush herself into obviously moving into something that she's clearly unsure of. Because let's be real, when somebody parks the brakes, they park the brakes for a simple reason, because they're unsure if you're that person. That is the most common reason. Sometimes people do it because, well, their guard is still up. Okay, maybe sometimes people do it because they mainly want to slow down because they're trying to break a pattern that they've done themselves in the past. There's always different reasons, but to be honest with you, we can give ourselves as many boundaries as we want and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes when we still meet that person that we're really, really into and obsessed with, all those things go out of the window. So usually when we're able to stay true to our boundaries, it doesn't mean we're not into that person. It just tells us that we're not obsessed with that person. Let's just put it that way, which isn't a bad thing. Because sometimes giving yourself more time to get to know someone even more really helps you understand that person more, helps them understand you more, okay? And really make sure that when you make the choice to want to commit or not commit, you've made a choice because you've really thought about it. When people make a choice because they're obsessed with someone, that's not always a good thing, because that means you're rushing into something without fully knowing that person. Okay, and then now you're having to get to know that person when you're with them, which isn't a bad thing, because even when you get to know someone before being exclusive, you will still forever learn new things about that person for the rest of the lives, for the rest of the time you are with that person for the rest of your life. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's the beauty of life. Always learning something new about the person you're with, and also always learning new things about life itself. But either way, though, like I said before, I'd rather be someone that is not obsessed and takes time to get to know someone, rather than be someone that is obsessed and rushes the process. Because, boy, when you rush the process, once that obsession dies or the lust dies, everything is dead. Because that's the moment you realize that maybe I don't have that much in common with you. Maybe I was with you because I was rushing the process, because I was just obsessed with the way you looked, your aura, or your energy, but I was never actually obsessed with you, the person. Different things, if you really think about it. But hey, with that being said though, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section and we'll talk about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.